She sat alone beneath blinking Christmas lights that felt too bright for the emptiness settling in her chest, her untouched coffee growing cold while the world around her hummed with sounds she could not hear. Snow pressed softly against the cafe windows, and every passing minute tightened the quiet humiliation of being forgotten. For a deaf woman who had learned to read the world through eyes and intuition, being stood up was not just rejection. It was confirmation of a fear she carried for years, that love always found a way to pass her by. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and quiet miracles that arrive when we least expect them, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel. Your support helps stories like this reach hearts that need them. Her name was Eliza Moore, and Christmas had never been easy for her. She had been born profoundly deaf, and while her parents loved her deeply, they lived in a world that rarely slowed down enough to include her. As a child, she learned early how to smile through misunderstandings, how to pretend she had not noticed when conversations continued without her, how to nod politely even when she felt invisible. By adulthood, Eliza had become fiercely independent, fluent in sign language, expressive in her art, and cautious with her heart. She worked as a freelance illustrator, often creating drawings of hands, eyes, and moments of connection she herself longed for. Love, for her, had always been complicated. Too many men saw her deafness as something to fix, something to pity, or something that required too much effort. Over time, she learned to expect less, to protect herself by not hoping too much. The blind date had been a rare leap of faith. A coworker had insisted, promising that the man was kind, patient, and different. Eliza spent more time than she wanted to admit choosing a sweater that felt festive but not desperate, applying makeup carefully and practicing calm in the mirror. She reminded herself that even if nothing came of it, at least she had tried. When she arrived early at the cafe, she chose a table near the window so she could watch the snow fall and avoid the anxiety of scanning faces behind her. Minutes passed, then more minutes, each one heavier than the last. She checked her phone, reread the brief messages confirming the date, and felt the slow burn of embarrassment creep up her neck. Around her, couples laughed, friends exchanged gifts, and baristas moved briskly with holiday cheer. No one noticed the woman quietly shrinking into herself at the corner table. Eventually, Eliza accepted what her heart already knew. She was not going to be met with an apology or a rushed entrance. She was going to be stood up on Christmas Eve. She gathered her things with practiced dignity, telling herself she would go home, make tea, and pretend this night had never mattered. As she stood to leave, her vision caught something unexpected near the cafe entrance. Two small girls, no older than 6 or 7, stood just inside the door, snow clinging to their coats. They were twins, identical in a way that felt almost unreal, with matching scarves and wide, searching eyes. What stopped Eliza mid-step was not their presence, but their hands. The girls were signing, their movements clumsy but earnest, scanning the room as if looking for someone who could understand them. Eliza's breath caught. She watched as the twins noticed her staring and, instead of turning away, their faces lit up with relief. They approached her table, slowly, as if afraid she might disappear. Without hesitation, both girls raised their hands again, signing with determination and hope. They explained, through imperfect but heartfelt signs, that their daddy was waiting outside, that he had sent them in because he was scared, and that he needed her. The words were simple, but the meaning landed with the weight of a miracle. Eliza felt tears prick her eyes as she realized she was being seen. Truly seen, by two children who spoke her language in a world that so often did not. Confusion and caution wrestled inside her. She did not know these girls, did not know their father, and yet something in their expressions felt sincere. She followed their gaze toward the window and saw a man standing across the street, hands shoved deep into his coat pockets, shoulders tense with uncertainty. He looked like someone bracing for disappointment. Eliza hesitated only a moment before nodding. The twins beamed, taking her hands as if they had known her forever, and led her outside into the cold night air. Snow fell heavier now, blanketing the street in a hush that felt sacred. The man's eyes widened when he saw her, surprise and something like awe crossing his face. His name was Daniel Harper, and life had not unfolded the way he once imagined. Years earlier, he had fallen deeply in love with a woman who shared his passion for music and teaching. When she lost her hearing after a sudden illness, their world changed overnight. Daniel tried to adapt, but fear and frustration crept in where patience once lived. By the time the twins were born, the strain had already carved distance between them. When their mother passed away unexpectedly, Daniel was left raising two daughters who were deaf like her, navigating grief, guilt, and a language he was still learning too late. He loved his girls fiercely, but loneliness had become his quiet companion. The blind date had been his sister's idea, a nudge toward hope he did not feel ready to claim. When he realized he had mixed up the time and arrived late, panic set in. Sending his daughters inside felt reckless, but he trusted their instincts more than his own. As Eliza and Daniel stood facing each other, the world seemed to pause. He signed slowly, apologizing for the confusion, explaining everything with raw honesty. Eliza read his hands, his face, the way his shoulders relaxed when he realized she understood. She felt something. Unfamiliar bloom in her chest. Not romance yet, but recognition. They walked together, the twins skipping between them, back into the warmth of the cafe. This time, Eliza did not feel like she was waiting to be chosen. She felt like she had arrived exactly where she was meant to be. The evening unfolded gently, without pressure or pretense. They shared coffee and pastries, the twins coloring on napkins while Eliza and Daniel exchanged stories through sign and written notes. Eliza learned about Daniel's fear of failing his daughters, his constant worry that he was not enough. Daniel learned about Eliza's art, her independence, and the quiet courage it took to live in a world that rarely accommodated her. There was no rush, no need to impress. Just a steady unfolding of trust, layered with the soft magic of Christmas lights and falling snow. For the first time in years, Eliza did not feel like an outsider peering into other people's happiness. She felt included in something fragile and beautiful. In the weeks that followed, their lives began to intertwine in ways that felt both natural and astonishing. Eliza found herself visiting Daniel's home, helping the twins with their homework, teaching them new signs, and laughing at their boundless curiosity. Daniel enrolled in advanced sign language classes, determined to meet the world his daughters and Eliza lived in. There were challenges, of course. Old insecurities resurfaced, misunderstandings crept in, and fear sometimes whispered that this happiness was temporary. Eliza struggled with the idea of becoming attached to children who were not hers, terrified of losing them. Daniel wrestled with guilt, wondering if he was betraying the memory of his late wife by allowing someone new into their lives. But each time doubt threatened to pull them apart, the twins reminded them, through their innocent certainty, that love was not something to ration or fear. Christmas came again, 1 year later, carrying echoes of that painful night and the miracle that followed. This time, Eliza stood in a living room filled with warmth, laughter she felt through vibrations, and hands signing joy in every corner. The twins presented her with a drawing they had made together, a picture of 4 figures holding hands beneath a tree, snow falling gently around them. Eliza pressed the paper to her chest, overwhelmed by the realization that she was home, not because everything was perfect, but because she was wanted, needed, and loved exactly as she was. Just before the ending, we want to hear from you. Please comment below and share what part of this story stayed with you the most, or reminded you of someone in your own life. As the night drew to a close, Eliza stepped outside alone for a moment, watching the snow drift down in peaceful silence. She thought back to the woman she had been a year ago, sitting alone in a cafe, bracing herself for disappointment. She wished she could reach across time and tell that version of herself to stay, to wait just a little longer, to believe that sometimes love arrives not in grand gestures but in small hands signing hope. When Daniel and the twins joined her, wrapping her in a shared embrace, Eliza understood that being stood up had not been the end of her story. It had been the quiet beginning of a family she never dared to dream of. If this story touched your heart, moved you, or reminded you that even the loneliest nights can turn into something beautiful, please take a moment to like, comment, and share this video. Your engagement helps spread these stories of hope to others who may need them more than we know.